I'm a yoga teacher, and in this video, you're going to learn the simple techniques of finding restoration in your pelvic floor. This is for anyone with hypotonic pelvic floor dysfunction or a variation of hypotonic pelvic floor problems. And what that means is if you have some incontinence, if you are unable to hold your pelvic floor in time for you to go to the bathroom, if you have a sneeze or a giggle and you accidentally have a little wetness, a little urination from normal casual activities, this is a moment for you to say, hey, wow, I need to restore my health in this area. And it's possible. You don't have to accept this kind of dysfunction. It could be from past pregnancies, it could be from trauma to this area, it could be from age. And the beautiful part about our bodies is that we can connect to our bodies using our mind, a mind-body connection. And we can enliven this area by intentional awareness and mindfulness around the pelvic floor. So come with me and check this out. This is a practice that I'm sharing with you. It's a short restoration practice to help you find your pelvic floor so then you can work it more intentionally and more deeply in future classes. Thanks for watching. Hello, good morning. My name is Angela Rosoff and I am here sharing Adore Your Pelvic Floor. This is a series of yoga classes around illuminating, igniting, energizing your pelvic floor. After doing several of these classes, it has become clear to me that finding the pelvic floor is probably the best course of action, and then directing students to this video in future classes may be helpful to allow you to really feel the experience of identifying the pelvic floor. So in this way, I will be addressing the concern of anyone with a hypotonic pelvic floor dysfunction or some variation. Maybe you don't have a dysfunction, but this would be the situation where the pelvic floor muscles are loose and not exercised or enlivened with energy. So when this is the case, you may be someone who is experiencing incontinence if you've had a baby or some trauma to the pelvic floor and you are unable to hold your urine until you get to the bathroom. If you sneeze and you have a little bit of leakage, or if you have, there's all of that going on. There's also the feeling of just absolute inability to hold in the pelvic floor and to not be able to identify where it is. Those who are also having hypotonic pelvic floor issues will also experience pain. You may have some pain in this area. So in these situations, having a restorative beginning to your journey with the pelvic floor can help you really isolate all of the variation of muscles in this area. This exercise is so important to our overall health because having a toned abdomen, a toned pelvic floor is really the beginning of balancing our hormones with all of the genitourinary organs that lie in the pelvic floor region. the balance that is achieved when we do pelvic floor exercises is quite profound. So I'm a big advocate for pelvic floor health. So we're going to start with some restorative movements. And I'd like to invite you, if you don't already, to sit up high on a pillow. Find, if you have a strap, that's great. If you don't, we can adapt, not a big problem. A blanket might be helpful during the course of this practice, and then maybe an extra pillow if you have it. So I'm using cushions from my couch, so it's all good. So the first thing that I want to begin with is just a quick cleansing inhale and exhale, breathing in, breathing out through the nose. Again, breathing in, breathing out, in, connecting with the breath, feeling the diaphragm expand, breathing out, feeling that contraction. So beginning a diaphragmic breath routine is very healthy practice for the pelvic floor as it trains the diaphragm to naturally expand out, pressing down on the pelvic floor diaphragm, and then on the exhale, contracting and lifting everything up. This natural breath cycle helps to tone the pelvic floor organs and muscles in a very passive way. So if you can add this practice, then you're really leveraging your personal energy to be able to offer health and healing throughout your day. So let's begin with a lying down on our backs in a restorative pose. Just want to make sure you can see. I'm having a little camera issue. Let me just bring this down. There we go. Just a little bit more. I want you to be able to see. There we are. This is pretty. Awesome. This is a good view. Okay. So, restorative. We're going to lie down on our backs. And with a pillow, bring the pillow under your knees. You can fold it. Do what you like. But really find just a little elevation in the knees to bring some restoration. So this little gentle inversion brings the blood flow from the top of the knees down into the pelvic floor. It's a very nourishing activity, very lovely. And then what we want to do is add a little weight to our hips. So I'm going to take this little blanket, it's a big cotton blanket, and I'm going to lay it right on the top of my hips. You can fold it. That is desired to get just a little extra feeling of weight. Let's just lay here and take 3 deep breaths. Connecting, feeling the weight, a little slight pressure on the hips. Now we're going to take this into Arda, Ananda, Balasana. And this is happy baby. It's a half happy baby. So we're just going to focus on one leg. And when I'm pulling down my right leg here. If you have a strap and you can better find your half happy baby, please do that. Bring it down. The idea here is to widen the openness of the legs and really open up this right hip. As you're lying here, begin gentle contractions in your pelvic floor area, just exploring. We'll work on isolating those at another time. But right now, just feeling, enlivening this area with some blood flow, feeling the space, the ether of this pose opening, creating some space to find our pelvic floor. And then gently roll your leg over your hip open just a little bit, lifting the left buttocks just a little, and really kind of with some motion, finding the right sit bones. And then imagine an imaginary line drawing the right sit bone to the top of your pubis bone. Little linear space. And then let's let go of that idea and release the leg, bringing your leg down. So lovely. Okay, and then on the left side, repeating this action, opening up, continuing with the blanket, weighing down the hips to isolate the openness of your pelvic area. Begin to enliven the area. If you are a woman, if you identify as a woman, your labia, you want to begin to contract, finding the parts around the opening of the vagina. So really allowing your body to feel some energy in this area. If you identify as a man, and we're looking for the perineum, which is the lower part of the pelvic floor. And just bringing some energy, bringing a visualization of this energy, and then wiggling your hip over, lifting the right buttock up. Again, draw a line from your left sit bones, which is open to the sky, to the pubis bone. And then let that visualization go. And then let's rest here. Wonderful. We can remove our blanket, or you can leave it if you like the feeling. And then we're going to find our big toe pose. So finding our big toe, we can reach up with our right fingers and loop it around our big toe, pressing up, straightening the leg, or you can use a strap just to help bring some integrity to your stretch, really opening up the hamstrings moving all the way down to the sit bones, opening up with a big stretch here, again bringing awareness to the pubis bone and all that's going on between the pubis bone and the coccyx. Rolling it back up. Let's change sides. We're opening up today. So, giving yourself a good stretch. If this is where you are, that's great. If you want to open it up, I'm going to have to adjust myself. Open it up. Find the space in your body. You can bring your right arm down to position you and roll your shoulder into the floor. Opening, toning the abs, enlivening the pelvic floor, bringing awareness to all that lies between the pubis bone and the coccyx. Take a deep breath and release. Bring up. Beautiful. Bringing the leg down. Move my props here. You can wiggle your legs. Wonderful. Bringing the right leg up. Let's see here. Bring the right ankle to the left knee. Gently pull behind the left leg from the hamstring, pulling this toward your abdomen, feeling the stretch in the right hamstring, the right side of your leg. And while you're stretching, again, bring awareness to the pelvic floor. Imagine where your coccyx bone is. Do you feel that? Now, create an imaginary line from the coccyx bone to the right sit bones. Let go of that visualization and release. On the inhale, bring your left foot to your right knee. We'll reverse this pose. Supta Bandha Gustasana. Wonderful. Reclining big toe pose, turning into thread the needle. Feeling the stretch on the left hamstring. Imagine your coccyx bone and a line connecting it to your left sit bones. And then let's release the pose. We could do a quick legs in the air. Beautiful. Bring it down. Now, stay on your back. Lovely. Stay on your back. And then bend your knees. Setu Bandhasana Sarvangasana. Supported bridge pose. So if you have a block, if you've got some gear, you can bring a block under your hips. My kids have stolen my block, so I don't have one today. But it's okay. I can tone my gluteal muscles, toning my thigh muscles, pulling at my hamstrings, really toning the entire abdominal core here, pressing into the floor with my hands, pressing up and enlivening my pelvic floor muscles all the while. So at this point, I'm contracting to pull up, and then let's roll it down and expand the pelvic floor open. And then let's do 3 pulses here, lifting up on the inhale. On the exhale, bring it down, expanding the pelvic floor. Lifting up, inhale, contracting the pelvic floor muscles, expanding the pelvic floor muscles, exhaling, bringing it down, and one more time, inhale, exhale, bringing it down. Wonderful, wonderful, yay. Now, just a quick moment before we move into the next pose. I just want you to really just bring your legs open and just resting. You could place something under your legs, but we're not going to be here very long. And just imagine that exercise we were doing, finding your pubis bone, imagining an imaginary line connecting the pubis bone to the left sit bones and the right sit bones, the ischial tuberosity on each side of our legs. And from those 2 points, the left sit bones and the right sit bones, imagine connecting to the coccyx bone. So you've got a bit of a rectangle, square going. So pubis bone to the right sit bones, to the coccyx bone, to the left sit bones, to the right, to the pubis bone. And all that lies in there are the muscles that we are honing in on. So in the hypotonic pelvic floor, we find these muscles tend to be open naturally, right? Because they aren't expressed intentionally. So with this practice, finding these and experimenting with the feelings of contracting them, expanding them, contracting the right side, expanding the right side, contracting the left side, expanding the left side. And then as you find some dynamic quality in your motions here, then you'll bring it to finer points of the muscles in your clitoris, in your labia, in your vagina, if you're a man, in your perineum, and finding the areas of the perineum from the forward part to the rear part. And then adding the anus into the mix here with some contractions around the anus and expansions. Sometimes I have heard students who, when they do pelvic floor exercise, they just clutch all of it up, creating a lot of tension. That's not what we're looking for. We're really looking for some yin type of experience of gentle bringing it in and then letting it go. Bringing it in and letting it go in the multi-layered parts that we have. So, bringing the legs together, I want to add a chair to our experience here. So, everyone has a chair in their house, maybe. I don't have a lot of wall space, so the chair is very lovely, and I feel like it's a very accessible prop to use. So what we're going to do is bring our legs over to the chair. You could also use a wall, and I'll show you how to use the wall as well. And then find your way down onto your right side, swinging the legs up. Find yourself in legs on chair pose. It's Viparita Karani Mudra. Legs on chair. And this is an inversion of the lower body, which reverses the blood flow. And in this situation, we're reversing the blood flow from the legs into the pelvic floor. So we're not resting on our heads and bringing the blood all the way down, but we're really reversing the blood flow into the pelvic floor. And let's just lie here. This is our Shavasana. And just close your eyes. If you're working from the wall, just demonstrate how to get set up to wall. So you want to bring your hips over to the wall and swing your legs up. So you'll have your entire leg up. You can bend your legs if that helps. You can open your legs up. This is a really lovely healing practice. Really lovely healing practice. This may feel even better, reversing the blood flow all the way from the legs into the pelvic floor area. I'm going to go back to the chair and just show you what's going on with that one. And we're finding ourselves in Shavasana with a slight inversion. You can bring your hands to your tummy, down to the ground. And let's take 5 deep breaths for this short Shavasana. bringing awareness to your pelvic floor. Enlivening the pelvic floor with your thoughts, bringing awareness, the beginning of mindful exercise in this area. Breathing in, breathing out at your own pace. After your third inhale and exhale, find your way onto your right side and press up to seated position. Wonderful. I will sit back a little. I want to share a mudra that will, let me just fix my camera here. This mudra will help to, there we are. This mudra helps the healing of the pelvic floor. And it's called Mahatrika Mudra. And what you do is you bring your finger and your thumb together. You press the tips of the fingers together, pressing your pinkies together. It looks like this. It actually looks like the inside of a pelvis. So, so lovely. And then you can place this mudra at the base of your seat, so near your pelvic floor. This is a wonderful mudra to practice for 5 minutes with deep breathing. You can expand it to 45 minutes depending upon your time allotment that you have. This is a wonderful practice to help with any kind of trauma that has happened to this area. Mudras bring the yang energy back into our bodies. So with our hands, we normally express conversation outward, energy shooting outward. With mudras, we bring the energy, we return it back into our bodies for healing, for correction, just to realign our energy. This brings warmth into my pelvis as I place it here, and I'm feeling the energy flow in my pelvis with this action. This is a wonderful mudra to add if you have any kind of pelvic dysfunction. Like I said, any trauma to this area, surgeries, any kind of abuse that may have been in the past. This is a healing mudra for anyone with prostate problems. Mahatrika mudra. Mahatrika means Trinity. Mahatrika mudra. And you can keep your mudra, placing it at your heart or here at your pelvis. And let's just close our eyes and end with a short meditation. Breathing in and out, acknowledging whatever is coming forward in your mind. Connecting and letting go. Allowing whatever is forward in your mind to come forward. Connecting and letting go. Allowing. Bringing space and awareness to the pelvis. Clearing our minds with this action today as we practice together. Bringing hands to Anjali Mudra, to the heart, to the crown, and the third eye. May all that is divine in you reflect into the world. May our practice heal others. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me, and I am grateful for your attendance today. Please reach out with any questions, comments below, and please subscribe to my work. It'd be a pleasure to share more with you. Thank you so much for. So I hope you enjoyed this little 30-minute video showing you how to find your pelvic floor. If you like this video, just click subscribe and you can learn more about yoga for those of us over 40 and how to enliven your body with a yoga practice. Thank you so much for watching. Namaste.